The United States is now going to send tanks to the Ukraine. This is different than what they had ever said they would do. There's an assumption that this is some level of escalation. It's very obvious that Ukraine now becomes a proxy war at pushing back against Russia. But let's not muck around. When the US is now sending tanks when they said that they wouldn't, is that an escalation or we're already deep in?
Well, look, I think we're already deep in, and the real question is there's been a Mexican standoff between the Germans who refused to allow any of their tanks, which are supplies to many of the other European countries who've wanted to give the tanks, and the Germans have the power under the way their sales were done to say no. So the Americans were saying, just a minute, why should we be the only ones sending tanks? We need a united front. So I think you've seen both countries agree to allow tanks to be sent into the Ukraine to try and help support the Ukrainian army. Where this is going to finish, no one is sure yet. But I think it's a good decision that sends a strong message to Russia that the Western allies are not, under any circumstances, going to abandon Ukraine.
Matt, are you okay with what seems to be even further armaments, and particularly now this change on tanks? It is a big step.
No, I'm pretty concerned where things are headed, Paul. It just seems to me, I'm not against, I've always been supportive of providing Ukraine with the means to defend themselves, but I'm worried that this continues to be escalators and not off-ramps. When is this going to end, and what are the clear objectives here from the West and the Allies in this conflict? We saw through Vietnam, the biggest issue was there was never really a clear strategic idea of what was going to be the end point. And likewise here, I'm not sure what are we trying to regime change in Russia? I mean, that would be fraught with danger. What are we trying to achieve? And I worry here that things are just being done quite haphazardly and ad hoc in response to specific circumstances on a month-by-month basis without thinking long-term.